In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and merciful, I welcome you all in today's session. And today we are going to talk about change management, which is our planned concern. And if the change is not planned, it may take up the shape of a crisis or a disaster. And we'll be talking about the details associated with crisis management and disaster management. And then we'll be moving towards the development of discussion related to project management, because every planned change and every organizational development activity is to be taken up as a project. So I'll be giving you a little introduction about what project management is all about. And after the project management, we'll be talking about organizational development concerns. And that would be like prolonged over 2 weeks discussion. So let's start with our first concern, and we're going to talk about change management. When we use the word change, it can be any type of organizational change which is planned. It can be structural change, it can be technology change, it can be cultural change. So this change phenomena would be covering the scope of many organizational concerns. But interestingly, whenever we talk about change, it is said that everyone likes change, but no one likes the process of change. The word change, ये sound तो बहुत attractive करता है, लेकिन उस change को लाने के लिए जिस process में से गुजरना पड़ता है, जो conditions and constraints face करने पड़ते हैं, इसके जो prerequisites होते हैं, उन लोग उसको आमतौर पर लोग पसंद वो नहीं करते हैं. So any systematic change follows the scientific procedure of observation, prediction, deduction and experimentation in terms of, अगर हम इसको translate करें तो इसकी expression जो हमारे पास बनेगा in change literature, scientific procedure का, in terms of description of problem, because that would be the first step जहां से हमारी discussion of change वो शुरू होती है. और चेंज के लिटरेचर में ये बात याद रखिएगा कि वन ऑफ द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट एक्सप्रेशन वी हैव is to describe the problem, because many a times people would not be able to identify that what are the actual problems which they would be or they should be addressing, because problems के अंदर भी hierarchy of priority का set करना वो एक बड़ा अहम अमर होता है. और उस प्रॉब्लम को जितना क्लियरली आप एलैबोरेट कर पाओगे उतना बेहतर आपका चेंज का जो सारा सिनेरियो होगा वो डेवलप कर सकेगा. So in terms of description of problem, once the problem is stated, तो हमारा next step would be diagnosing the organization. हम उस problem की causes, root causes तक जाएंगे. Diagnosis एक पूरा launch करेंगे, एक पूरा audit हमारा launch होगा, और उस diagnosis और audit के नतीजे के तौर पर जो हमें issues नजर आएंगे उन तमाम को हम हल करने की कोशिश करेंगे through designing intervention, जो थर्ड एक्सप्रेशन है हमारे पास. एंड वंस द इंटरवेंशंस आर डिजाइन्ड एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेड, तो उसके बाद द लास्ट but not the least step in the change perspective would be that we have to institutionalize the organizational development or organizational change. By this expression of institutionalizing, we mean to say कि हमने उस change को वहां पर जब वो अकर कर जाएगा तो we have to freeze it, we have to make sure कि वो change revert back ना करे, because inherently हर change में revert back करने की जो capability है वो मौजूद होती है. तो बिल्कुल जिस तरह हम एक साइंटिफिक प्रोसीजर के तौर पर ऑब्जर्वेशन, प्रेडिक्शन, डिडक्शन एंड एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन के कंसर्न्स को देखते हैं एक सीक्वेंस में, बिल्कुल इसी तरह चेंज के केस में आपको जो चार एक्सप्रेशंस मैंने बताए कि डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ प्रॉब्लम, देन डायग्नोजिंग, then designing interventions and then institutionalizing organizational development. So ये हमारे पास major concerns हैं जिसके ऊपर हमारी आज की सारी डिटेल और डिस्कशन वो चलेगी. Now starting from the very basics of change management, let's see that what is change management actually is. So change management is an aspect of management focusing on ensuring that the firm responds to environment in which it operates. तो कोई ना कोई हमारे पास स्टिमुलस होगा जिस स्टिमुलस के अगेंस्ट हम उस चेंज की जरूरत को फील करेंगे और उस स्टिमुलस के अगेंस्ट हम एक चेंज प्रोग्राम पूरा लॉन्च करेंगे जिसको के प्लान्ड वे में इंप्लीमेंट किया जाएगा. और वो स्टिमुलस can not only just come from the external environment, that can also be the internal need as well. There are 4 key features of change management we generally talk about. The first aspect is that change is the result of dissatisfaction with the present strategies. That can be one scenario. The second is it is essential to develop a vision for a better alternative. So different alternatives are always available with the business. और उन alternatives में से अगर आप किसी नए alternative की तरफ जाना चाहते हो तो you need to bring in a change. और उस change program के तौर पर then it might be the change in structure, it might be the change in culture, it might be the change in products and services. So there are so many types of changes we are looking at. And the third key feature of the change management might be that it is necessary to develop strategies to implement change. So new strategies, new frameworks we need to develop and we need to discuss when we have to implement the change, because change would always accompany a certain resistance. The change would always call for upgradation, modernization, and betterment. So we need to come up with new perspectives to incorporate that planned change. And there will be resistance to the proposals at some stage. And remember one thing, that if there is no resistance to change, just in case we say that there is no resistance to change, that would be the state of and stage of inertia, which is like a status quo. Because remember that inertia would be opposite to change. Just like the Newton's third law of motion, that it says related to supposedly inertia that first of all, if we just quote the third law, which is action and reaction are equal but opposite in direction. But at the same time, when we use the word inertia, so that would mean that a body at rest would keep itself at rest and a body in motion would keep on moving unless and until acted upon by some external force. So just like that, as we talked in the terms of physics, the definition of inertia, same is the case with the organization. Like if the current status quo is not being challenged, if the current status quo is not being altered, so that would mean that we are in the state of inertia. Or if we do not put a ending point to the change program, that would again result into the state of inertia. So remember, whenever you have to plan change, it must have a starting point, it must have an ending point, it must be unique in its nature, it should entertain certain targets and objectives, it should be incorporated by certain frameworks, and these are all the definitions we have for the project management as well. As you all know that when we talk about a project, it is always having a starting date and an ending date. Project is always having a specified scope, specified target and objective, specified framework to follow. Okay, so that is the reason that every change program is in association with a project management perspective. So what we conclude up till now is that a resistance is a must when we talk about a change. Okay, but that resistance should be, adjusted. That resistance would be like we will try to overcome that resistance so that our planned targets and objectives can be achieved. Change often arises from, number one, the development of new products. That can be one of the cases. The entry of new competition, that always calls for change. Changes in consumer tastes and preferences, that can be the triggering point, that can be the stimulus from the external environment. Changes in the cultural, political, economic, legal, and social frameworks. So any of such phenomena can always be resulting into a required change in our organization. And changes in technology leading to technological obsolescence or new product opportunities. These are all the examples that can result into the requirement to bring in a change. And at the same time, when we talk about change, there is a very famous quote. I have just put it on the slide, which says that nobody likes change which does not jingle in their pockets. because everyone would be looking for their own benefits out of that change. And if they are not able to identify that what benefits and what rewards and what compensations they're going to get out of that change, obviously they'll be acting as not change agents, but change resistors. The challenges which are faced by organizations in the contemporary world are many. And when we talk about the change, there is a very interesting expression which says that change avalanching down on us. Okay, that again, just like I used the expression for the globalization, the change is something which is not our choice. The change is like always out there, and it is always forcing us to adopt. It is always forcing us to be flexible, and it is always forcing us to modernize, update, and upgrade ourselves. It is said that the tomorrow's world is different from today's. Okay, so every new time is coming with their own challenges. The challenges of the 21st century are very different from the challenges of the 20th century, and the challenges of the 20th century was very different from the challenges of the 19th century. So every new time, every new era, every new concern is coming up with its own circumstances and its own challenges and conditions. Just for an example, I have put a dialogue over here that supposedly young people between ages of 15 and 29 make up of 41.6% of Pakistan's total labor force, and 4 million people reach the working age in the country every year. Okay, so if I talk about the demographics of the Pakistan, so we can see that there is always like a change in the population, the change in the demographics outside, which are definitely putting challenges for the organizations to entertain that need of the society. So the report says that 90% of the youth do not have access to recreational facilities, 15% have access to internet, 8% to radio, 48% on a mobile phone. So why I'm quoting these statistics? Because we have to view the environment in a holistic way, in a bigger picture concern, so that we can be very much sure that what type of changes we need to incorporate in our organizational facility. A WHO report in 1998 estimated that 6% of our population was over 60, with a likelihood of doubling by 2025. Okay, we have already reached to 2021, and we'll be looking at the numbers that how different the things can be in the coming years, which would mean that 12% of the total population would be above the age of 60, which would mean that they would be reaching to the age of retirement. So according to 2014 estimates, 33% of the Japanese population is above the age of 60, 25.9% are aged 65 or above, and 12.5% are aged 75 or above. So these are very shocking and interesting statistics, because in Japan, there is a very recent problem coming up, which is faced by the economy as a whole and as well as organizations, that their major population is reaching to the age of retirement. Okay, and when the major population is reaching to the age of retirement, so they have to manage this situation, and they have to they might open the borders for the others to come in and join in the industry, or they would be planning otherwise that how can they manage this aging population, and how the organizations are going to face such challenges. So remember, it is not just the demographics. There would be technological aspects. There would be climate change. There would be the needs and preferences of the consumers, which might be changing. So we have to be very vigilant in our concerns that how this modern world is going to affect on us. As a result, organizations need to adopt to change, and organizations are in continuous interaction with external forces. Major characteristics when we talk about the field of organization development and change management. So the major characteristics we have, I'm taking this table from the book, which is titled as an experiential approach to organization development. And it says that the major characteristic in the field of OD and CM is the change itself, and its focal area would be that change is planned by managers to achieve goals. Then accordingly, we need to focus upon the collaborative approach, which says that it involves collaborative approach and involvement, in which like participative style of management, where all the stakeholders are on the same page, when the collaboration is the rule of the game, rather than the competition, or rather than like compromises are to be taken. It is better to go for collaborations. And again, that collaboration approach related to the change management has also created a very interesting expression in the field of strategic management. The term is co-optation. The co-optation would mean that there is cooperation among the competitors. Okay, so rather than that the competitors are always there to compete, in the modern world, they have to cooperate as well. So the term we have is co-optation. Okay, we'll be talking about its details in strategic management part, but for the time being, I'm just referring you that what does a collaborative approach means. Likewise, there is performance orientation concerns in the field of organization development and change management, which would say that emphasis on ways to improve and enhance performance. There would be humanistic orientation, which would be talking about emphasis upon increased opportunity and use of human potential. Then there would be systems approach concern, which would be talking about relationship among elements and through that relationship creation of the excellence. And definitely we have to look at scientific management principles as well, which are talking about the scientific approaches supplement practical experience. Okay, so we'll be taking the things scientifically. We'll be adapting the methods of scientific approach to address the needs of the change in organizational development. When we talk about change management, it says that change affects all aspects of organizational management. So starting from organizational structure design and moving through the change management process development, location decision, workload, work role, work practices, supervision, work teams. So there are so many concerns around us which are going to be the part of the change campaign, and we have to be careful in designing our change program, that what factors, what constructs are going to have the direct impact of that particular change. There are many forces for change in business. For example, if we talk about internal forces, that might be including desire to increase profitability. It might be linked with reorganization to increase efficiency. It might be calling for conflict between departments and its resolution. Then we may have to look for to change organizational culture. So these can be the internal triggers. But when we talk about external forces, customer demand, competition, cost of inputs, legislation, tax changes, new technology, political factors, ethics, technological obsolescence. So there are so many aspects which are always calling for organizations to adopt accordingly. Okay, and particularly the organizations who are suffering from strategic myopia, who are having inertia, or who are suffering from status quo, or who are not ready to change, they would be lacking behind. They would be stagnant. Okay, and once the organizational setups are stagnant, so they might be profitable for some duration of time, but eventually they will be losing the grounds. When we look at the changing organization of 21st century, so we have to see that how the external forces are actually putting pressure on the organizations who are existing and sustaining themselves in the 21st century. It is taken into account that organizations of the 21st century are faster, they are more quality conscious, they are talking about employee involvement, they are more customer oriented, and they are relatively smaller in size. Okay, so usually the concern which we talked about earlier, that there are big corporations. So even those big corporations are actually decentralizing their operations to the national markets. Okay, and that is the reason that the terminologies like transnational and multinational and multi-domestic strategies are coming up. Okay, so when we talk about the organizations in the 21st century, the external pressures, the external forces which are directly affecting them might include the competitive uncertainty, which may include the different regulations always coming in, the prices, the suppliers, the bargainings we have in the industry. Those organizations might always be facing the competitors, and many a times the competition would be getting like the red ocean. The competition would be like getting severe in its orientation, and many domestic firms would be able to compete with the companies, and many multinationals would be coming into the country, which would be changing the overall situation in a particular national market. Likewise, the consumer's lifestyle, the consumer trends are always changing. Invasion of the internet and access to the global networks, these are all the things which are putting challenges for the 21st century organizations. And new technologies, fuzzy logic, robotics, automation, artificial intelligence, all these things are always coming in, and organizations, they need to see that how can they balance their efficiencies, how can they balance their demands for more and more updated and upgraded products and services, and how can they balance their effectiveness with the efficiency. So these are all the concerns which are challenges for the 21st century. There are certain primary goals of the change programs. Those primary goals might include increase in productivity, increase in responsiveness, improve comparative position, increase employee involvement, increase employee morale, develop new managerial skills. So there are many aspects in which the change programs would be incorporated. It all depends that what particular trigger you are addressing to, what are the current circumstances you need to face, what are the organizational conditions and constraints, and how can you respond to all those conditions and constraints, keeping in view your targets and objectives, keeping in view your mission and vision, keeping in view your strategic options, and obviously you have to also ensure your long-term survival and above average return as well. As I have just put like a list of major goals in front of you, there was a research conducted keeping in view these major goals, and the results were very interesting. Out of that particular research, it says that increased productivity, that is concern of 20% of the organizations. Increased responsiveness to client would become 19% priority. Improve comparative positioning, which is increased productivity and decreased cost, is the 19% concern of the organizations. Increase employee involvement and participation, again 19%. Increase employee morale, 18%. Develop new managerial skills and strategies is 14%. So this basically means, the reason of showing you this major goals of large scale change programs is that we cannot just ignore any one of these, because more or less all of these are having a big proportion of what type of changes corporations and the companies are looking for, what type of changes the stakeholders are looking for. So starting from developing new managerial skills and strategies and reaching up to increased productivity, organizations, they need to focus upon all of these aspects, and they just cannot ignore any one of them and cannot make a trade-off among any one of them. So, so far, what we have seen in the change discussion, that change is something which is inevitable. Okay, and once the change is inevitable, it is said that change is the biggest constant. Okay, and perhaps the only constant, because that is something which you always need to look upon. Okay. So when we talk about like specifically productivity, it is not just the production related aspects. We have to see that what are the priorities, what are the requirements of the organization, and we have to focus upon those priorities and options actually, because remember one thing, that if we just focus upon productivity, the requirements for the productivity enhancement are different from the preferences of the employees or the preferences of the other stakeholders. Okay, so no doubt we can say that as a resultant factor, these all aspects are going to create the synergy, and that synergy can take the shape of enhanced productivity, enhanced profitability, enhanced satisfaction of the stakeholders. But when we are deciding the change program, remember its targets and objectives should be very much clear so that we can divert our resources and energies accordingly. When we say that change is the only constant we have, the reason behind this particular expression is that today's managers need new mindset, okay, which would be talking about flexibility, speed, innovation, and constantly changing conditions. Our session time is ending. Join in next session, please.